But yeah, guys, we're going to get more into Donovan Mitchell here right after this. I want to remind you all that you can get buckets with your first bet on FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Because right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bet. That's $150 if your bet wins. You guys can bet on all your favorite NBA players and teams with quick bets, live same-game parlays, exclusive props, and plenty more. You guys just have to visit FanDuel.com/UCSS to shoot your shot. FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NBA.
All right, guys, so the 2 games without Donovan Mitchell after the break were not good offensively for the Cleveland Cavaliers. I know their point total against Orlando, 109, looked okay, but the offense looked just completely out of sync. And then against Philadelphia on Friday night, 97 points. They only shot 22 threes or 23s, whatever it was, which was way down. And in the latest NBA.com MVP ladder, Donovan Mitchell is not currently in the top 5. That goes to Jokic at 1, SGA at 2, Giannis at 3, Luka at 4, and Jayson Tatum at 5. And we have a graphic of that. I did it off memory. I hope that's right, Ant. But we have the MVP ladder if you want to pull that graphic up. But I'm pretty sure that was the top 5. Donovan was 8th in the last updated MVP ladder.
Do you know what's 6 and 7?
Brunson was in there. Sabonis was in. I'm not sure the exact order. But they do top 5 and then the other guys. So regardless of who was 6, 7, and Donovan isn't the MVP favorite but right now by any means. Okay, I had that right. That was the right order. But did the 2 games he missed against Orlando and Philadelphia actually strengthen Donovan's chances of catapulting himself into that conversation, into the top 5 of the NBA's MVP race, G?
No. And I would usually say yes, but for Donovan Mitchell, where he's at right now to win the MVP, the Cavs have to do something extraordinary. They have to be like, yeah, they're in the 2 seed, but they need to win as many games as they can in order to shine light on, wow, well, let's take a look at these Cavs. Like, these guys are actually, like, really doing, they're the best team in the league right now. And for a while, they were the hottest team in the league. But when you lose 2 games in a row, you kind of get dropped back down. It's almost like being a Cinderella. Like, if you're at MAC school and you want to get in the top 25, you got to go undefeated. And you got to beat two big-time D1 Power 5 conference type people. So for the Cavs, you already look at what they did last year. People kind of wrote them off. Now you look at it this year, they're playing better. He has his best numbers of his life right now. But when you bring that list back up, I mean, SGA is crazy. Like, Tatum is playing out of his mind. Like, you know, these dudes, when I'm watching them, they playing at a different type playing field. It's like, come on, man. Jokic is killing still, averaging.
I'm not saying he should be the leader, but should he be more in that conversation than he's getting credit for?
It's tough. Like, because, look, he got the Jalen Brunson factor. People is like, we can't put Jalen Brunson below Donovan Mitchell because he's giving them the buckets in Utah, and he came to New York and still consistently, tightens him up. So it's a perception thing. Do I think Donovan Mitchell is better than Brunson? Yes, but Brunson has the name. He got the head-to-head matchups, and he plays in New York. So we can't do anything about that.
Earl, what do you think?
I mean, to G's point, I think Donovan Mitchell and the Cavs will have to do something crazy, like overtake Boston for the 1 seed for him to even be considered. And even still, I don't think that's enough. I think in the NBA, more than any other sport, what you do in the postseason, it really matters. It really resonates with those voters and those writers more than anything else. And I think because of what the Cavs didn't do in the postseason last year, it's the reason why people might feel like the Cleveland Cavaliers is being slighted this year. It might be a reason why Donovan Mitchell was not, a starter in the All-Star game, for example, this year. So things like that, I think, play a part. But in order for him to even get top 5 consideration, the Cavs will have to do something like outside of this world, possibly like overtake Boston. Don't really see that happening. But with all that being said, you could just tell how important he is to our team. You know what I mean? Like, you could tell a difference in energy, difference in the level of focus, difference in how, like, the other players assert themselves, et cetera. Like, even we talk about, Darius Garland coming up in the clutch moment. Like, even that happened with Donovan Mitchell being present. And it just seemed like his mere presence, it elevates everybody else on that team.
And this is why your last point's why I actually disagree with both of your overall point and your overall point. the MVP in the NBA, at some point, it shouldn't take any previous playoff experience into consideration. And Jokic won 2 MVPs before he won a finals. And Giannis won an MVP, and maybe 2 before he won a finals. And LeBron won MVPs before he won the finals. I don't think you have to have postseason success to be considered at the highest echelon for NBA regular season awards, even though I do think it does play some sort of factor. I thought the 2 games without Donovan proved his value. And we obviously know how good Donovan is as a player. Like, we don't have to explain that. He's tremendous in every facet as a shot creator, as a scorer, as a playmaker, as a leader. He checks all the boxes. But you look at pure value. Look at how the Cavs offense looked against Orlando, and especially Philadelphia. They went from averaging 30. Tony Pesta on Twitter, who's a great Cavs follow if you guys don't follow him, put out the Cavs 3-point attempts per game over that 20-game stretch where they went 18-2. They're averaging nearly 35.5 threes a game. They take Donovan out, 20 and 22 were their 3-point attempts in the 2 games without Donovan. He comes back on Sunday against Washington, it's up to 35 again, right in that same range. When he's off the court, and this goes back to your Darius point, they don't have a replicable alpha dog on offense that does what Donovan does. And no disrespect to Tatum. But if you take Jayson Tatum off the Boston Celtics, they still got 2 All-Stars and maybe 3 depending on how deep an All-Star roster goes. I'm not sure his value to Boston is equivalent to what Donovan's value to Cleveland is.
So
I feel you don't believe that in your heart.
No,
He's not better than Jayson Tatum.
But I definitely believe he believed that. So basically what you're saying is, if you took Jayson Tatum off the Celtics because of everything else they have, they're still a playoff team. You take Donovan Mitchell off, they're a play-in team.
They're a 6 seed at best without Donovan Mitchell.
So here's
a 6 seed at best without Donovan.
So see, here's the argument. That's why now you're gonna have to get mad every single time when we say, when people tell you, you know what, if you take Donovan off this team, we still got Darius, we still got the unicorn, and look at the way Jared Allen is playing. Isaac Okoro's playing the best ball. Why would you not say that team that without Darius Garland would still be a top 4 or 5 seed in the East? Why wouldn't you say that?
I don't think they'd be a top 4 or 5 seed in the East.
So that means the roster is not that good then, right?
I think it's a competent, right? It's a playoff team roster. And you have Donovan Mitchell, and you go from a playoff team to a team that can win a 2, 3, potentially 4 playoff rounds.
See, here's the thing. You take Jayson Tatum off, right?
They can still win 2 playoff rounds.
Okay, but here's the thing. If you took so watch this. Take Jayson Tatum. This is cold. This is cold right here. You ain't gonna miss this one.
I'm scared. When he has to set up a take by saying this is cold.
This cold. Take Jayson Tatum and put him on the Cavs. Take Donovan Mitchell, put him on the Celtics. Who got the better squad?
I'm not arguing who's better. Jayson Tatum's a better player than Donovan Mitchell. Like that's not my argument. My
that's
argument
the MVP.
Hey, wait, time out. You did all that to set that up. What?
Yeah. You take.
That's as cold as taproom water, G.
Listen,
no one's arguing. No one's arguing that. Jayson Tatum's better than Donovan Mitchell. That's not the argument. But it's the MVP.
So if you're an MVP, you make everybody else better. If you're an MVP, you're going to get other guys to play above their skis. And if you're the MVP, you put them at a championship level, right? But what I'm saying is, if you put Donovan Mitchell on the Celtics, they're not at a championship level.
Well, they're still damn good. I think the Boston Celtics are the deepest team in the NBA. Like, they got 7 guys who are legitimate players. Like, legitimate guys.
I get it. But when you talk about Jayson Tatum, the dude is giving you 30. He's giving you 8.
I'm not arguing that Donovan Mitchell is better than Jayson Tatum. I think Donovan Mitchell is more valuable to the Cavaliers than Jayson Tatum is to the Celtics.
Oh, no. Come on now. Stop.
Or what do you think about that?
Come on now.
So you outside your mind.
Come on now. Really?
The Cavs are what? The Cavs are like, what, 6-5 without Donovan Mitchell this year?
I'll look it up. I think
they were 7-7 without Donovan Mitchell last year. So basically, without Donovan Mitchell and everything else, the Cavs is a teetering 500 team. So you telling me that based on the stats, since people want to throw stats at everything, they are teetering 500 team without Donovan Mitchell. They're nothing more than a play-in team. They in a play-in tournament without Spider.
They're 6-4 this year without Donovan.
But 6-4. What was they last year?
I'm on my phone. I gotta go back and research.
So here for me. So what I'm asking is, you can't have it both ways. I'm sitting here, I'm confused because every single time we talk about Donovan Mitchell and the potential of him leaving, people's like, oh yeah, we still got ball players though. We still good. No one's
saying that Darius, Evan, and Jarrett suck. Like that's I don't think Earl. Correct me if I'm mischaracterizing.
I'm not saying that they suck.
No one's saying they're bad players.
I'm just saying at one point in time, before Donovan Mitchell got here, people was talking about Darius Garland and Evan Mobley and Allen having enough to win the championship by themselves.
Yeah, that was ludicrous. We didn't have the show yet.
Okay.
We didn't even have Ultimate Cleveland Sports that didn't exist in pre-Donovan Cavs.
Okay.
Think about it. He got traded before last season started. That was our first year. So I can't tell you what people were saying before I got here. But anyone who was saying that the trio of Garland, Mobley, who was a rookie at that point, and Jared Allen, who I love Jared Allen, but like he's Jared Allen, was enough to win a championship. Were people really saying that?
They're like, listen, look at the progression. That's when we talking about Donovan Mitchell versus Darius Garland, and people saying Darius Garland is a max player. And you're like, okay, they need something else, bro. Like, this is not going to get it done. And it was evident when they got Donovan Mitchell. What I'm saying is if you look at all those lists of players right there, it's hard to crack that list.
I'm just saying the difference in and we're arguing now the MVP, whether value versus better, which is one of my least favorite arguments to get to.
It always gets to do
it's subjective, yeah. If the award is the most valuable player, I've seen what the Cavs look like this season without Donovan Mitchell, and they are nowhere near the caliber of team they are with. Now, you could say that about every single player on that list. You could say that about every single player below him, below these five on the list, which includes Brunson and Sabonis and Embiid, who've fallen out of the top five because he can't qualify. But what's your point, Earl?
I got a question.
Shoot.
Just for both of y'all. This just came to me. Looking at these five players, right? No, Ant, bring that back. Or Steve, bring that back. Looking at those.
Brad Sellers, you got the Warrensville shirt. You got the Brad Sellers BTB.
Look at
Mikey, bring that back.
Bring it back. Right,
all right, so looking at those five players, right?
Right.
Of those five teams, which team has sustained success the most without one of those players on their team?
The Celtics. Jaylen, if you want to talk about contracts, Jaylen Brown's the highest paid player in the NBA, which is
And he was not getting that without Tatum.
and he'll be overpassed by the next max deal that comes out because he's just the latest guy to sign the extension. And pull it back up for one more sec.
Hey, that's right player at the right time.
Same thing with Darius when he got his.
Right player at the right time.
I'll break some news right now. Evan Mobley's going to get the rookie max extension when he's up. Like, it's going to happen whether you think he's a max player or not. The Thunder, SGA is by far their best player, but they got Jalen Williams. They got Chet Holmgren.
Now, listen. Now, if you take him off the squad, they're not making no playoffs.
I think they're it's a similar situation to the Cavs. Like
they're a play-in team.
They're good, but they're not anywhere near where they are. You take Jokic off the Nuggets, that's a whole catastrophe. You take Giannis off the Bucks, they're not good this year. They
ain't even that good this year with him.
And you take Luka
off.
Well, that's the whole team.
That's the whole squad.
My point is, I don't think Donovan should be 1, 2, 3, or 4. I think you can make the legitimate case that he's right there, if not ahead of Jayson Tatum, for what 5 should be.
I think
in terms of value.
I think for me, the MVP is a popularity contest.
And that I don't disagree with.
It's a popularity contest amongst the writers. And when you look at some of these players, Jokic is 1, 2. Even if he had one of his greatest years, they're going to say, oh, we can't give him 3 in a row. You're not going to do that. SGA, they need to see whether or not that this guy can win a playoff game to put him up there. Giannis has already won 1. The guy that ain't won 1 is Jayson Tatum, and he could arguably be, he's been first team All-NBA the last 2 years. Now, here's the thing. In order for you to sneak up in that list, you got to have the national guys put you up there. And how many games are they watching at the Cavs? That actually hurt. Actually, the game, there was national TV against the 76ers.
Yeah, Mitchell didn't play.
And Mitchell didn't play, and that hurts. That was a great opportunity for him to come out on the road, and then Tyrese Maxey got that look.
And Valentine's Day against the Bulls, which they ended up winning that game. Darius hits the proverbial game winner, but they didn't play a great 48-minute contest.